Hello, everybody, and welcome to End of the Day Entertainment's E3 2018 preview show. I'm Chris Day alongside our video game expert, Zach Dunham. And Zach, there are a lot of games to discuss as we preview the E3 convention, which starts next week in Los Angeles.
Yeah, that's right. We got, I figured it'd be a good thing with a preview show, talk about things that we know, everybody knows are going to be coming out, things that have, PlayStation, Nintendo, Xbox, everybody's announced, other things that we want to see. I took a poll with a bunch of friends, asked what games do you want to see? What games do you think they should announce, even if they're not working on them? If they just say, hey, we're making this, So I took a small poll and, got a couple of titles that I feel are going to definitely, would be interesting to see.
I know there's a few that I'm looking forward to, and we'll get to those when the time comes. But first, I want to start off with the Spider-Man game, which we already know is coming out on September 7th. It's one of the biggest titles of the year. It's expected.
Oh yeah, it's the first Spider-Man game in a while, to my knowledge. For at least for a solo Spider-Man game. And it looks like it's going to be. I feel like it's going to be a really good one. I know a lot of people are very skeptical over it. Because everybody's automatically going to compare this game to the PlayStation 2 Spider-Man games, which were regarded as the best Spider-Man games ever. But I don't know. I feel like it's going to be. Really good. It looks like the combat into it. It's very fluid, very like kind of like to the movies. It's very
I don't know, actually. So there you go.
I figured. It looks like it's a very, very smooth playing game. In the game you seem to fight multiple old school Spider-Man villains. Obviously Kingpin's going to be in it. Mr. Negative appears to be a big one. Shocker and Taskmaster seem to be the four main big names, at least that have been announced for it. So that's going to be. I'm interested to see how. I'm interested to see how that's going to play out.
We'll see how much E3. I mean, we already know when it's coming out and all that. So we'll see if E3 really discusses that a lot. But it's a PS4 exclusive, correct?
Yeah. I was under the impression that when they announced it, it was originally thought to come out for all the major consoles, and then Sony pretty much said, yeah, this is going to be an exclusive. I don't know if it had something to do with money, with trying to port it over to other controls. I'm not 100% sure, but it's coming out September 7th. It looks like we've seen a lot of gameplay from it when they first announced it, trailers and stuff like that. Game Informer just had an article a month or two ago about it, and it was a pretty good article. They went pretty in depth with it, so I'd check that out if you ever get the chance.
And one thing the Game Informer article does talk about is the number of suits that Spider-Man has in the game, if you want to discuss that a little bit.
Yeah, they said that he's not going to have just his regular suit. There is going to be the classic, regular, Spider-Man suit, which, everybody hopes for. There's supposed to be other ones. There's supposed to be a noir one, which is kind of like a dark variation. They didn't go into detail with it. I guess in their hands-on, they didn't see what the suit has as like abilities, because each suit's supposed to have different abilities. There's a spider punk one where it's kind of looks like a punk rocker, with the the spikes and the mohawk and stuff like that. It's supposed to be really, I feel like it's going to be really different, kind of outside the box. And
I'd like to see what the abilities are with that outfit.
Well, it said that the special ability is it's very odd, but it seems to. It's kind of like a throwback to a throwover to Sunset Overdrive, which is another game. Spider-Man, I guess he whips out a guitar and he strums it to send out like a spherical shockwave attack that will knock down all enemies that it hits. So I feel like that's going to be an unconventional one, but it's supposed to be pretty cool. And then on top of that, there's a wrestling suit, which in their playthrough they mentioned that they see an illustration of the wrestling suit in Peter Parker's room. But again, we're not 100% sure what the advantages of it are going to be, if there are any. It could be a just cosmetic. But there's probably going to be more suits. I'm assuming there's going to be more suits. I don't think they're only going to put 3 in. So I'm hoping that there's a bunch, like maybe 12. If there's a dozen different suits in there, I know I'd be happy.
That would be pretty cool to see, but we'll have to wait until September 7th. Well, potentially to find that out, but it could be something that E3 shows and new trailers coming out.
Yeah, I'm definitely.
Other suits will get revealed.
Yeah, I'm definitely excited to see what they go into with for the press conference. I want to see if they announce other suits, if they announce more to the story, more to the gameplay, and more of a hands-on experience, really.
Either way, we know Spider-Man is going to be one of the most anticipated games of the year, and it's a PS4 exclusive. So we're going to stick with Sony games for now. We'll start off with Sony and PlayStation.
Yes. So Sony, I know there's been a lot of leaks going on. People like, oh, look at this piece of paper. It shows all the stuff that Sony's going to announce, or Nintendo, or Microsoft. Well, one of the Sony ones was, it's very obvious. It's been announced before. They've been working on it for years. That would be the Final Fantasy VII remake. I'm not a big Final Fantasy fan. I understand the iconicness of Final Fantasy VII. It's regarded, so many people call it one of the best games ever, and they've been looking forward to this game for years. The remake. They did show. They have shown little clips here and there of what it's going to look like, and it looks absolutely phenomenal. It looks like it never ever was on the PlayStation 1 before. They're remaking it from the top down. Everything, cutscenes, gameplay, everything is going to look beautiful. I actually might, purchase it. I never really played through the original, so I think this would kind of get me into that. With the turn-based style and everything, I think it'd be a really. I think it's going to be interesting. I really hope they give us a release date, more gameplay, and definitely a deeper look into it.
And I'd love to see how a PS1 game shows up in PS4. You're talking about a game that's almost 20 years old.
Yeah,
or older.
It came out in the 90s, obviously. And to be honest, if you look at the graphics of the original game, it was very blocky, and it just. Obviously, at the time, people were blown away, like, oh my God, these graphics are amazing. But with the technology we have today, and considering, as I said, they're remaking this ground from the bottom up, it's almost like they're creating a new game based off of an old one. It looks absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, it's almost like it's an old movie being remade. It's, they're redoing everything, but it's still the same story behind it.
Yeah, it's the same story, same characters. I'm not sure if they're doing... the original formula where there's no voices, because in the first one there was obviously the dialogue was just little pop-up windows with the dialogue scrolling by. So I'm wondering if they're going to do that, or they're going to have voice actors play at least mostly everybody's roles and stuff. Obviously Cloud is probably going to be the silent protagonist, because he always is. He's the voiceless one. So that'll be interesting to see. I'm definitely hoping they announce a lot more on that game, because that, for Final Fantasy, I'm not very into it. I feel like that would interest me if they went further into that. And definitely, also sticking with Final Fantasy is another game that everybody's been waiting for. And when I say waiting for, I mean you've been waiting for it. I've been waiting for it. Little Timmy down the street's been waiting for it for 13 years, and that would be Kingdom Hearts 3.
Absolutely. I beat Kingdom Hearts 2 when I was a freshman in high school, and it's 13 years later, and I'm still waiting for this game to come out.
I mean, they announced it. We've known about it for years. We've known about it. They've shown gameplay, trailers, teaser trailers, new worlds, which we can get into. They've shown so much about it, and it feels like every single year at E3, they show another video of it. And then the final shot of the video coming soon. And it's just, everybody is just, they get so mad. I know I was mad last year. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. There's not going to be a release date. Not even a tentative release date of coming holiday 2018 or something like that.
Coming 2018. But here we are. We're halfway through 2018. And there's still no official release date.
Exactly. And so I feel they're going to go very hands-on. I did hear there's rumors of a playable demo at E3, so people will be able to actually get their hands on it and try it out.
There was something recently about that. There were a handful of people who got to play a demo version of it, but it was, I believe, just the Mount Olympus world, which is in all the Kingdom Hearts games, so it wasn't a new world. I think Toy Story might have been a playable
Toy
world
Story
also.
is that's a new world.
We know it's in the game.
That's going to be. I'm actually really excited to see that. The
Yes.
Toy Story. I'm excited to see. I'm not 100% sure. I think I think they said they were doing Star Wars. I can't remember because, as I said, they announced a lot of these games a while ago.
Yeah, Star Wars I don't think has been confirmed yet, but it's been a rumor because Disney has bought it.
Yeah, it was that was rumored, and so was Marvel. And I had a strong stance on with that. I feel that Star Wars, because they did Tron in the past, and Tron, I feel like they did a very good job with that. I feel like Star Wars would fit the mold. They'd be able to do Star Wars successfully in Kingdom Hearts 3.
I would stay away from Marvel.
I
wouldn't bring that.
I feel that Marvel is. I don't think that would fit. Superheroes and everything like that. I don't feel like Kingdom Hearts had a superhero vibe to it, and I don't really see it fitting as well as like Toy Story or like Tangled or Frozen, any of those places.
Sora, who's the Keyblade, does he really need to help out superheroes who already have their own powers?
That's another thing. I just feel like Marvel, yes, technically they could because Disney owns it, but I don't feel like it would be a good choice. I feel like they should stick with more of the Disney-related titles, you know. You go to the worlds like that were in Tangled, Frozen, stick to your basics. You know, you got the Lion King, Hercules.
Another new one that this year for Kingdom Hearts 3 is Monsters, Inc.
Monsters, Inc. That's the other one I was having a hard time thinking of. That one I'm interested to see. I actually really hope that there is a hands-on demo. And while they're talking about Kingdom Hearts 3, obviously they show gameplay from some of these worlds. And, you know, I'm hoping at the end of this press conference this year, they actually go ahead and say, coming blank, 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 with an actual date.
Yes, I don't want just a general date like holiday. I want an actual date.
Month, day, year.
Yes,
that's what I want.
And if I don't get that, I'm gonna be very disappointed with Sony, Square Enix, and everyone else involved.
Yeah, that's it. It's gonna be a very that'll be heartbreaking, to be honest, if we don't get an actual release date, because
it'd be 13 years and get let down again.
13 years. It's year after year. It really is.
But we'll move on from that instead of us ranting about that. What do we have next on
so yeah, I mean, I got a list of stuff. Obviously, another game that people have been waiting a few years for. It's the sequel to one of the best-selling games probably of all time. It was a phenomenal story, and that is the sequel to The Last of Us. The Last of Us 2, which was announced, I want to say last year or two ago. They showed Ellie with a guitar, and she was playing a guitar, and you know, I feel like the first game had such an immersive story to it. It had, you know, survival horror elements, kind of almost like a zombie apocalypse type thing, but it was more of a zombie apocalypse that dealt with not undead zombies, but it was like a fungus, you know, that took everybody over, and it was almost like fungus monsters, if you want to call it. It was really weird.
And how many years has it been since the first one?
I think the first one came out, I want to say 2012, off the top of my head. It came out for the PS3. They later ported it to the PlayStation 4. It was like a remaster, which was good. I enjoyed the remaster. I feel like it would be perfect for the PlayStation 4. That game had beautiful graphics for the PlayStation 3, so the remaster was a perfect idea.
And a lot of the games were remastered for the newer systems instead of building a brand new game. Like going back to Kingdom Hearts, that was remastered.
That was remastered time and time again.
That's true too. But
so it's the same thing with Skyrim. They keep doing the same thing. Skyrim. Here's another version of Skyrim. But yeah, there's a lot of those going around. Sony has been releasing a lot of remasters, a lot of remakes. If you want to even stick with the remake, trend. They're supposed to be remaking. I heard rumors of Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater, which was my favorite Metal Gear Solid out of all of them. I mean, I didn't play all of them, so I don't have like a full, grasp on which games were good or not. But my favorite out of all the ones that I played was definitely the third one. So I think a remaster of that would be fantastic. They're remastering, they remastered all the God of War games for the PlayStation 3, and then they came out with them for the PlayStation 4. All the Grand Theft Auto remasters, they're doing a lot of them, and I feel like they're giving their fans something that I feel like they're giving the fans something that they want, but without making a new game. Like, hey, here's a holdover for the next game. We're making something, but here's something that you used to play all the time. It's a nostalgia factor, I feel.
I love the nostalgia factor. You mentioned Grand Theft Auto, and there's Grand Theft Auto 6.
Yeah, that was said to be in development, and it's I don't know. I'm not 100% sure if it was just a rumor or if it was confirmed, but it is said to be taking place in Vice City. Now, Vice City, if you remember, obviously Grand Theft Auto Vice City back in the PlayStation 2, you played as Tommy Vercetti. Set in that is my favorite. That's my favorite game in the entire franchise. Is Grand Theft Auto Vice City. I love the setting, the soundtrack, the gameplay. Had a real Scarface vibe to it with the whole mansion that you had.
Yeah.
And it was...
That was the first Grand Theft Auto game that I really played through the entire game.
Yeah, I was
younger when it came out.
That was a difficult game to play, especially back then. But yeah, it's been rumored. They're saying, hey, it's gonna be in Vice City because, put it this way. Grand Theft Auto 4 took place in Liberty City. Grand Theft Auto 5, which is still going strong. You keep updating the online. Grand Theft Auto 5 took place in San Andreas. So what better place to have the sixth game
going back to Vice City?
Then going back to that setting. The Miami style setting. I was probably one of my favorite reasons that I loved Vice City. Just the setting, the time period it took place in, the vehicles, just the whole game. I loved it. So Grand Theft Auto 6 is something that I really hope. I don't know if they're going to, but even if Rockstar, the reason I don't think they're going to do it, Rockstar, as everybody knows, Red Dead Redemption 2, which comes out, supposed to come out this fall. Red Dead Redemption 2 that's going to be their number one. I don't think Rockstar is going to really tease many other games because they're going to probably go really hands-on with that.
No, and I would agree with that. Red Dead Redemption 2, but since that already has, a release date for it.
Oh, exactly.
They could tell you something, else. Well, even if Grand Theft Auto 6 is just in development.
That's all I want to know.
That's something, hey, this is coming out this year, but hey, next year we got Grand Theft Auto 6 coming out.
Yes, that's
the case.
That's actually what I've been hoping for. A lot of people have been telling me, but, they're going to show Red Dead and, they have that game coming out. They wouldn't really focus on the Grand Theft Auto game. And I see where they're coming from with it. I feel that Red Dead Redemption 2, yes, they're going to go really hands-on with it because we've only seen trailers. We haven't really seen much gameplay and story. It's supposed to take place before Red Dead Redemption, so it's going to be like a prequel. So I'm really looking forward to seeing where they go with it. I want to see the gameplay. The first Red Dead Redemption was amazing, so I can't wait to see it. But after Red Dead Redemption, if they just after either before, doesn't matter to me. If during Rockstar's press conference they show a small, even if it's a 30-second teaser video of Gran Turismo, of Grand Theft, I do it all the time. If they show a teaser video of Grand Theft Auto 6, I will be thrilled. I will be happy. That's all I want because that's what Sony did to me 2 years ago with God of War. I didn't know what I was watching. I'm just watching a little kid play with some little toys he made, and then Kratos pops out of the shadows, and I scream like a little girl. So if they do that with Grand Theft Auto 6, I will be pleased. I will be completely content, and my E3 will probably be made.
Well, we got another week or so before we'd find out about that.
Yeah, that's it's going to be a long week. I'm going to tell you that right now. Yeah, but as going back to even we were talking about a lot of the leaks that have been saying they're going to release this, Nintendo's going to do this. Well, on the PlayStation list, I did see for Sony that they were going to talk about Devil May Cry 5. Now, Devil May Cry 4 came out. I don't even remember when Devil May Cry 4 came out. That was a while ago. They released the trilogy. They did an HD trilogy on Devil May Cry. They did an HD collection, which 1, 2, and 3, and then they had another HD collection with 1, 2, 3, and 4.
So now would be the perfect time to get the fifth game out there.
Oh yeah, well they also remade it. They remade it. They tried to reboot, called DMC, Devil May Cry, came out a few years ago. and it was a good. It was good. I enjoyed it. I love the soundtrack. Soundtrack was by Combi Christ, which was a very, they're kind of metal, electric, and it was really, really cool. I enjoyed the game. The gameplay was really smooth to me. It was fun. But, a lot of the old school fans want the old Dante back. They want the old style of Devil May Cry. So Devil May Cry 5, I think that'll be big. I know a lot of people who are waiting on that game, because they love, one of my good friends is a huge Devil May Cry fan, and when I asked him what games he wants to see, that was the first game out of his mouth. He's anticipating this game so much that I know his day will be made when or if they announce it, and I think it'll be pretty exciting, because the Devil May Cry series not really started, but had a huge hand in the hack and slash combat, which, a lot of games like God of War, and after that, many other games were inspired by. So I think that's going to be really, really, really cool to see what they do.
Switching gears now to Bethesda, who just announced Fallout 76 ahead of the E3 convention, which I think surprised a lot of people, considering it hasn't been that long since the most recent Fallout game.
Yeah, it's been a couple of years since Fallout 4 came out. I'm a big Fallout fan. Big Bethesda fan, actually. They're probably one of my favorite game developers. Fallout 76 looks very promising to me, based off of the trailer. I've been seeing rumors that it's going to be an online arena shooter, or it's going to be more multiplayer focused, which they haven't really done in terms of Fallout. So I'm skeptical, but I'm also very excited because it's a new Fallout title. I'm definitely going to get it. Probably going to get the special edition and get yelled at for spending the money. But I love Fallout. What can I say?
Yeah, and we'll see if E3 shows more about Fallout 76 next week.
I'm sure they will. They announced it. All they gave us was a teaser trailer.
So I feel like that was just to get you ready for E3. And
it's got to be.
Will be
Bethesda, pretty much every year, it seems like the last several years, before E3, they call it BE3. It's a Bethesda thing. They have huge Fallout posters on the sides of some of the buildings over down there in LA. So I'm definitely expecting a lot on 76, and it's also rumored. I've read rumors about it, and it would make sense because it's the 10-year anniversary of Fallout 3. That on the 10th anniversary, or around the fall time, they are supposed to release a Fallout 3 remaster or a remake. I'm assuming it's going to be a remaster because a remake would be huge, and it would probably take a decent amount of time for them to do that and a lot of resources. And with making Fallout 76, I don't see a remake happening. But the remaster, which has been rumored, 10-year anniversary of Fallout 3, it would only make sense, especially to announce it. I'm not 100% sure if they will announce it, but that would be really cool. Because that was my favorite in the series, was Fallout 3. And sticking with Bethesda too, and maybe teasing stuff, maybe announcing stuff, a lot of other people have been really anticipating a new Elder Scrolls. We all know Skyrim came out in 2011.
Yeah, so we're looking at 7 years since the last Elder Scrolls game came out.
And it's not even that. It's not even that just it came out. They've remastered that game. I don't even know how many times. There's the Game of the Year, the HD collection. There's the ultra definitive super HD collection. Everything you can think of.
There is no Elder Scrolls game, like a new game, that's on one of the modern day systems.
No, not a new game. It's all Skyrim.
All remastered.
All remastered Skyrim, which I got the remastered Skyrim. It was a really good. I enjoyed it. Mod support wasn't really big on Sony. I have a PlayStation, so the mods weren't the best. I also like playing a game without mods to get the feel for how the game was intended.
But again, it wasn't a new game. It was a remaster.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't. And then recently they ported Skyrim to the Switch last year. They announced that, and that was actually really big news. And what else did they do? They put it on VR. They put it on virtual reality, which was a huge step. I feel like that right there took so much time for them to be able to port all the controls to a VR system. That was big last year when they announced that. But I feel like it's time. They've been working. We all know that it's in development. So if they just give us a peek, give me something.
We're not asking for a release date. We're just asking for, show us a trailer that's in development,
Show
some
us
gameplay.
a 15, 20-second teaser. I don't care. I want a new Elder Scrolls title in some form. Just get it. Just I don't know. I don't even know. I am at loss.
Give it to me is what you want.
Give me the stuff. I want the stuff. And another game that Bethesda also announced, keeping with the Fallout 76, they announced that before E3. They announced Rage 2. I did not play Rage 1. I heard about it, but I never ended up playing it. It's, an open world, another post-apocalyptic RPG. It's got I feel like it looks a little bit more colorful. All the characters seem to be just batshit crazy, which is cool. I like that. It's kind of got a Mad Max vibe to it. So I was thinking, I'm hoping they go a little bit more hands-on with Rage 2, because the gameplay trailer they showed was only 15 seconds long. Really wasn't much of a trailer. I want them to go more in depth with it, because I would like to. I've seen little, the trailer looks great. I definitely am interested, and I'm hoping that this game is worth it, because I'm definitely gonna look into it. I definitely like that post-apocalyptic. Bethesda makes phenomenal RPGs. The single-player campaigns are amazing in almost every Bethesda game I've ever played. Doom, Skyrim, all of that.
And the first Rage came out in October of 2011. So again, we're looking at 7 years almost.
Yeah, exactly. And so it's been a while. But they announced it. It looks like it's going to be a fun time. That's supposed to be coming out next year sometime in 2019. So I'm not expecting that. I mean, if anything, it'll come out maybe spring, summertime of next year, which would be nice.
I don't think we'll see a release date. You might get spring or
if they do a release date, that'd be a plus to me. I think that'll be a nice little addition.
Might be too early to hope for that though.
Yeah.
And moving forward, we have anything else for Bethesda?
No, that seems to be about it for what I know, at least. Unless they surprise people with stuff that I've never dreamed of.
You gotta expect there's gonna be surprises all over the place at E3. So.
Oh yeah, and Bethesda normally does very well with surprises, so I'm looking forward to that.
What do you want to move forward with Nintendo next?
Yes, we can talk about some Nintendo games. Obviously, the game that they announced, I want to say months ago. I don't know if it was last year. It feels like it's been an eternity.
They haven't really announced a whole lot, though.
No,
they've been pretty tight-lipped to what they're going to announce.
They had the teaser trailer a little ways back for the new Super Smash Bros. Game, showing the Splatoon Inkling. So obviously he's confirmed as a playable character. Yes. That's going to be interesting. I want to see more hands-on with that. I definitely do. I want to see if they're adding other characters. It's been rumored that they are going to add Simon Belmont of Castlevania, which I've been pining for him to be in a Smash Bros. Game for years. He is more than deserving to have a slot in that game. Being Castlevania is one of the originators in that genre of like that, some side scrolling, like Castlevania was such a huge title back in the day. I think that would be friggin' awesome for him to be in the game. And then it was another rumored character was supposed to be Ridley from the Metroid series, which it was weird because Ridley's huge. And I read that they're going to try to scale him down and make him a playable character. And I find that to be pretty cool, but I don't know how that's going to play well. It's weird.
I have a feeling for that game because it's one of the Switch's most anticipated games. Super Smash Bros. Is popular on all the Nintendo's platforms.
Oh yes,
but I feel like we would see maybe a gameplay trailer that would show a couple new characters, not all of them.
Oh yeah, you want to leave some surprises,
but then show your classic characters, Mario, Pikachu, etc.
Oh yeah, you're gonna have all your classics: Donkey Kong, Yoshi, Mario, Luigi, Link. I'm wondering which alternate Link they're gonna have because they've switched it. It was Toon Link, and then it was like the Wind Waker Toon Link, and then it was Young Link, and they keep switching around. So I'm wondering what other iteration they're gonna do of like a Toon or Young Link because I liked those iterations of them.
Why don't you just put them all in the game?
You could. Now the Switch isn't the most powerful system, so I don't know how much they could actually do with it, but I feel like they can definitely get rid of the excess characters. I felt like with the last Super Smash Brothers, they took up a couple of character slots on unnecessary characters. I feel like Dark Pit and Pit could be a palette swap because essentially the moves were close, very close to each other. I know a lot of people I've argued with about this kind of stuff before, being, what the hitboxes are for all these characters. They vary a little bit. Lucina, a lot of the Fire Emblem characters. I don't think they need that many Fire Emblem characters in the game because they keep just adding more and more and more. Stick to the basics. You got Roy, Ike, Marth. Those are the ones that I feel are the best ones to put in the game. But yeah, I definitely hope they announce at least a couple new characters.
Sticking with Super Smash Bros., not entirely, but that the same characters. I would like to see a new Mario Party. I don't think we're going to, but there is Switch has been out for over a year. There's been no news about a Mario Party. The last one was 2015 on the Wii U, which
I like that one, but it wasn't my favorite.
I only want a new Mario Party if they go back to the original format. They stopped doing it Mario Party 8, where
Mario Party 8 was
the same vehicle, which I think is stupid.
Yeah, 9 started the. I feel like they were aiming more towards family friendly with 9 and up because, as you said, you're in a cart, and when you hit the block, everybody moves.
That's stupid.
Yeah, rather than in 8, it was every man for himself. Everybody hits their own block. Everybody moves a certain space, and you're spread out all over the map.
I feel it was more for a time-consuming thing more than family-friendly too. But
it was. The last one that came out though, the whole Bowser versus the other 4 people, and that was innovative.
I did like that. I liked that because that had the Wii U Switch, the gamepad for Wii U.
So yeah, they could do something like that. But I really do, as you said, go back to the old format.
Yeah,
make it more competitive because that was. Me and you had a lot of fun in Mario Party 8.
Yeah, you won most of those.
I did.
But also, they did just release a new Mario Party for the 3DS. I believe it was like the 100 greatest mini games or something.
Yeah, I read about that.
So I don't see them announcing Mario Party 11
unless who knows? They could have been developing it. They could be.
I'm hoping
that would be a surprise. I feel if Nintendo even announced it, that would be a surprise because I haven't heard anything about a Mario Party since the last one on the Wii U.
And this is more just my inner childhood wanting a new Mario Party. I'm not expecting
I'm
it,
right there with you. I'm right there with you.
Because I played the original Mario Party all the way back on the N64 in something like 98, I think it came out, or maybe
it was even earlier than that, I think. Because there was a bunch of them on that, and then that's when they started getting out of hand. But then when the Wii came out, that's when they had 8 is one of my favorites. Everybody likes the Mario Party 3, 2, 4, the N64 ones.
Yes, I think my favorite probably Mario Party 2, just because that was when I was a child, 9, 8, 9,
oh, yeah.
somewhere in there. But I'm not expecting one. Same thing with I'm not expecting a Mario Kart either because they released a deluxe version from the Wii U game.
Yeah, that would be a surprise to be honest if they did a new Mario Kart because I think it was last year they announced Mario Kart Deluxe and they added the Inklings and they added all these other characters and some new maps and stuff for the Switch.
Expecting that.
No. It would be, as I said, like Mario Party. It would be a surprise.
Even if they said, in development, even if it's 2 years from now,
Oh yeah.
Those games are so popular that they're going to sell well, even if
there's going to be hype for them. So even if they say, "Hey, we got a Mario Kart in development," I do know that actually on the Mario Kart theme. Now that you mention it, I completely forgot about it. There is a Mario Kart coming out later this year for mobile devices.
Yes,
that is the mobile one. I completely forgot about that.
Yes.
So if they do a Mario Kart, that's probably what they're gonna cover. That is going to come out for the iOS and Android systems. I think that's going to be very interesting.
I think it would make sense to bring that up, especially
I'm so happy you brought up Mario Kart
because that's coming soon. So
yes, that's supposed to. I'm not 100% sure, but I think I read about that coming out later this year. If not later this year, early next year. I want to say it's I don't know. It's up in the air.
Now, do we know what we're getting with that? If they're going to have new tracks or do mobily have some of the older classic tracks be on the mobile system. We don't really know what we're doing with that.
You know what though? I think sticking with true Mario Kart fashion, they would obviously include some of the classic tracks. So far, okay, here it is. So far, the game's looking like it's going to come out by March next year. So maybe this fall, maybe early spring.
But even if we're talking March of next year, E3 is a place you're going to bring that up.
Oh yeah, you're going to. And Nintendo is, famous for having their little Nintendo treehouse things. So there's a possibility that if they don't announce it at E3 within the coming months, we will get an announcement for it.
And moving forward, we're going to wrap up the end of our Nintendo portion of this with Fortnite.
Yes, Fortnite, which is right now the world's #1 online multiplayer shooter, and it's barely even close. I know there's a big debate, what's better, PUBG or Fortnite. I myself would prefer Fortnite, but I just started getting into H1Z1, which is it's more realistic, it's more along the lines of PUBG, but Fortnite is the biggest. Everybody plays it. I know adults that play it, I know kids that play it. So that's a popular game, and that was a rumored title to be coming to the Switch, which I think the demographic of the people who have the Switch, I feel like it would do very good on the Switch. I'm not sure though, because I'm not sure.
I have a Switch. I also have a PS4 also, but
well, yeah. So I mean, I was talking about it with friends. I feel Fortnite it'll be good on the Switch. Obviously, the Switch could probably handle it. I'm not sure if they're gonna have to dumb it down a little bit and smooth some stuff out. But I also don't feel like the competitiveness is as much on the Switch as it is on the Xbox, PC, or the PlayStation 4. So I don't feel like if it comes out, I feel like it'll be a good thing, but I feel it'll be a very casual game for the casual gamer. But it'll be a fun time because that game is a really fun game to play. I think it'll do well. But that is also, as I said, it's a rumor. That was on one of those leaked rumor sheets where this is their whole press conference in a nutshell. And I did see Fortnite for the Switch, so that is something to keep a lookout for.
And it's only gonna be a rumor for another week because E3, as of our recording, I don't know when you'll be listening to this, but we're a week away from E3 right now.
Oh yeah, we're 5 days roughly, something like that.
5 or 6 days out, yeah.
Yeah, and I did forget something. Pokemon.
Yes.
To wrap this up, Pokemon, probably the most anticipated Nintendo title that was just announced a few days, like a week ago. It's been rumored. They've been talking about it. They announced it. It's coming out on November 16th.
Completely slipped my mind. I forgot all about this.
Yes. So you got Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee. And I feel, the remakes of the Kanto games, remakes of Red and Blue.
I love that. Gen 1 is what I grew up on.
Same here. I'm anticipating it. It seems to be very... the way that they went about this one, like in the trailer, it seems like they're taking a very big approach on connecting this game with Pokemon Go. The way you catch Pokemon is very similar. When you catch it, it's got the circle that gets bigger and smaller. You use one of the small Joy-Cons to simulate throwing a Pokeball at the screen to catch the Pokemon. It's very innovative. I feel like it's more hands-on Blue and Red. And you get to ride on your Pokemon. You get to ride on an Onix, which I know you want to do.
I would love to ride on an Onix for real. Obviously, it's never going to happen, but,
But yeah, so I feel like with this, though, obviously it's going to be Gen 1. But if they're keeping with the Pokemon Go trend, I feel like they can really add in the future now that Nintendo's setting up their online services. It's supposed to be like $3 a month or $4 a month or something like that, or $20 for the year. I feel like they can do DLC, and they might even, with Nintendo doing a lot of their DLC for free most of the time, they could probably update. Put Gen 2, Gen 3, which is what Pokemon Go seems to be on now. So eventually just keep updating the game.
And you can keep that game going for years on end if you keep doing that.
Yeah, Nintendo's very good with upkeeping a lot of things like that. I feel like it would be very interesting to see
people
what
start
else.
Getting tired of the game, and then you throw in the 100 Pokemon.
Here's another Here's another generation. Enjoy it. And a new region to explore. Go for it. And, with that, a story.
In, all, 8 or 9
8 gens,
in one game with downloadable content.
Yes, that's why I feel like this one's going to be anticipated. I'm anticipating this game. It's going to be the first Pokemon game I've bought in a while. And due to this game being announced, I re-downloaded Pokemon Go, and yes, I have been playing it a lot.
I haven't played it since it came out. I played it for a few weeks, and I
well, you get quests now. There's quests now. You can find Mew.
I'm not up to date on the Pokemon Go since it came out. Really.
Oh yeah. It's been a while. A lot of people fell out of it. But yeah, so Pokemon, November 16th. Let's go Eevee, let's go Pikachu. I'm probably getting the Eevee one because everybody's going to go get the Pikachu one because Pokemon Yellow. So I'm probably getting the Let's Go Eevee.
I'm getting Pikachu, damn it.
You get your Pikachu. I'm getting Eevee. And my Eevee will beat your Pikachu.
Listen here. Maybe when it's Flareon or something.
Maybe. I don't know. We'll find that out November 16th.
And I believe we're going to transition over to Microsoft and Xbox.
Oh yes, Microsoft has a few titles that people are looking forward to. I'm not really big on the Microsoft scene.
Neither have I. I've never had an Xbox.
Same here. I've never had one.
Stuck with PlayStation or Nintendo systems. So, but something about Microsoft that's coming out or rumored to be coming out anyway.
Yeah, there's a few titles that I've seen the names flash up now and again. Microsoft hasn't really had huge press conferences the last few years with breaking news and stuff like that in my eyes. But there's a few games. I got 3 games at least here right now that I'm anticipating. I think it's going to be really cool to see. One of them being the next Gears of War. I'm not a huge fan of the Gears of War series. I think this is Gears of War 5, if I'm mistaken. So I'm wondering if they're going to show more hands-on on that. If they're going to go into depth with it, which would be cool. A little bit of gameplay. Now, trailer would be nice if they, announced it to come out later this year. That would be pretty cool. I would have absolutely no problem with that.
Another one that's rumored is Halo 6.
Halo 6, or as I've seen it, Halo Infinity.
Well, Halo 5 Guardians came out October 2015.
Yeah, so it's been a couple years.
Yeah, I don't think,
I think it's time for a new Halo game. In my opinion, I'm kind of like, I feel like they're milking, I feel like they used to milk the Halo game, kind of like Activision milked Call of Duty a few years ago, and every year.
When the Halo series first came out, how huge it was.
Oh, it was huge. I played 1 and 2. I was at my friend's house all the time. Me and him would stay up all hours of the night playing Halo 2 online, just dominating people. I played a little bit of Halo 3, and I kind of fell out of it. I didn't see those friends anymore, but it wasn't even that. I wasn't into it anymore. I felt the story kind of started deriving from what it used to be. And then they started with the spin-off like ODST. You got the top-down Halo Wars, kind of a strategic thing. But Halo 6 or Infinity, whatever you want to call it, I'm hoping it goes back to the roots. I really do. I want to see Master Chief. I want to play as the Arbiter, and go do all the old school stuff. That's what I want. That'd be really cool. That actually might, depending on how the game looks, might make me want to get an Xbox. Because as I said, I'm not a big fan of the Xbox, Microsoft, but there are certain games I definitely would want to play. Halo 6 Infinity would probably be one of those games. I'm really anticipating that.
And I'm expecting Microsoft to make a big splash at E3 because I feel like, like you said, they haven't had any big press conferences or breaking news in the recent years.
No, they really haven't. Not to my knowledge, at least. Obviously, a lot of games that have been announced, that we discussed a few of them. A few games are going to come out for both Microsoft and Sony. So it's, it's going to be cross.
I mean, Sony is outselling Microsoft, and with their game systems by, I think it's almost 2-1.
It's double what so Microsoft they're on a downslope right now.
So more people are gonna, even if it's for both platforms, Xbox and PS4, most people are gonna have a PS4 because more people own PS4.
Oh yeah. Right now, I feel like what Microsoft is doing though, they're going really heavy with a lot of their exclusives are able to be played on the PC. So pretty much, if you have an Xbox, you can play it on your PC, you can play it on your Xbox. They're going really heavy with the entertainment aspect of Microsoft. So I feel like like that's where they've been leaning to. So their press conferences to me haven't been really groundbreaking. Sony's done a lot of they've leaps and bounds. Obviously, Microsoft did have the Xbox One X, which was the Project Scorpio that they were talking about for years. So that was probably the last biggest news in my eyes that Microsoft has released. But yeah, Halo 6, and there's one more game that's been rumored. When the leaks first came out, it said Forza Horizons 5. But that didn't make any sense because they don't even have 4 yet. So we're all expecting Forza Horizons 4 to be announced, which I'll play. I like racing games. I've always been a fan of racing games. One of my good friends is a huge Forza fan, and he really enjoys it. So I know he's anticipating Forza 4, Horizon 4. And I might even get an Xbox to play that with him online because it does look like it'd be pretty interesting.
I feel like that game will be just once in development because Forza Horizon 3 came out not even 2 years ago.
Yeah, exactly.
So
I was talking to him about that.
That's still pretty quick for a turnaround for a brand new game.
So I feel like they're gonna maybe announce it, at least saying, hey, we're making it, probably coming next year, coming soon type thing, or a teaser. Because that was rumored. It's been something I've seen pop up now and again, and especially for Forza fans, a lot of people like Forza. That's one of Microsoft's better console exclusives in my eyes. The graphics are beautiful, the cars are beautiful, everything about them, the tracks, it's phenomenal. So that might be a game that I want to check out myself with Microsoft. And that's pretty much all I have for Microsoft themselves right now.
And before we wrap this up, we have a few miscellaneous titles to talk about that we missed going through this the first time.
Oh yeah, just little things. I wouldn't risk. There's only one console exclusive. I forgot to mention the PlayStation segment. I don't know why. I don't know how it slipped my mind. But a lot of people are anticipating Bloodborne 2. Bloodborne 1, made by the same developers that made the Dark Souls games and the Demon Souls games. Great game. That was the only one I really cared for was Bloodborne. It was very hands-on, very gothic, Victorian Gothic era setting, which that's what I enjoyed about it. The setting, some of the enemies were really creative and very difficult. That game is a very hard game. But Bloodborne 2, a lot of people are excited. That might be something that they're going to hopefully go hands-on with. It's been a few years since been a couple years since the first one. So let's hope that gets announced. Let's hope that they go through it. Give us maybe a release date, gameplay, something like that. But I'm anticipating that one, because the first game was really fun. A couple other ones that some people brought up to me. There's another Assassin's Creed that I've seen little, not screenshots, but I've seen a title screen, like a teaser image. Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Now, based off of the picture that I saw, there is a Spartan helmet on it. So I'm thinking they're going to the Roman times, you're going to Rome, they're going to Italy, Greece, all that stuff. That's where I think they're going to take place with it. I think it's going to be really cool to see a gladiator setting, something like that, because they didn't really do that. Like the first one took place in Italy, but it was like in Italy in like the Crusades, you know what I mean? Later on, after the whole the fall of Troy, all that kind of stuff, it took place more modern. So I feel like this will be a cool one to dive into. Hopefully they announce it, a little bit of gameplay, as everybody wants to see gameplay for games, see what you're really getting. That'd be really cool. I think that'll be a nice one. Let's see. We have Anthem. Now, there's a lot of Destiny fans out there. Anthem kind of goes along with that. I've been told it's looking kind of like a Destiny / Mass Effect, like mashup type game. I saw some trailers for it, little, sneak peeks here and there. Looks interesting. Looks like a huge game. I definitely can't wait to see what they do with that, if they do anything with that. The name of that game is Anthem. One of my friends told me he wants to see more from a game called Cyberpunk 2077. The game was announced in 2012. There was a teaser trailer released January 2013, and really not much after. It's still in development. It's supposed to be an open world RPG. It seemed very interesting. I'm just hoping we hear something about it.
We're talking 5 years after a trailer, you know.
It is. It's been they announced it. Hey, we're making it 2012, and then a few months later, bam, here's a trailer, and then just maybe some trailers here and there, not much on it, and I feel like it's time.
I mean, for anyone else who wants that game, I feel your pain because Kingdom Hearts 3, 13 years.
13 years for that. If we got any Tool fans listening, their last album came out 2006, so
Yeah, so there's that too.
Yeah, so
That's 12
it's it's about time. We need more stuff. That same person that was talking about Cyberpunk brought up a game Code Vein, which looks to me like a Dark Souls mixed with an anime style. That's interesting to me because Dark Souls had a very medieval style to it, with the knights and stuff like that. It was very medieval. With anime, that's very, very interesting to me. I want to see how that pans out if they announce more on that. I guess I'm assuming that's supposed to come out next year, 2019. So that's going to be interesting. Yeah, let's see what we got for that. Let's see if they do anything for it. Let's see what else we got here. Another one of my friends, I asked him, I said, what do you want to see? What games do you want to see coming out? What games do you maybe that have been teased? We had one game that was teased that I saw because Ed Boon has been teasing it on Twitter. He had a little cryptic tweet that he spelled something with a K, which normally means Mortal Kombat. I'd like to see another Mortal Kombat. I liked the last one. Mortal Kombat X was great. Mortal Kombat 11, that's what I want. That's what a bunch of people I know want. They're big into fighting games. So let's get Mortal Kombat 11. Ed Boon hinted at it with that tweet with the K in it. And whenever he does that, something's coming. So I'm thinking we might be seeing a Mortal Kombat 11 coming soon. That, and then there's two games that I'd like to see. And I don't know if we're going to see them. One being Borderlands 3. Borderlands 3 is probably not going to be announced because I guess one of the creators wants to announce that on his own. I don't know if they're going to wait for the E3 platform. But that'd be really cool because I liked 1 and 2. I never played the prequel, but I feel like it's time for the third game to come out. I feel like if they do announce it, it's going to be huge news at E3. That's going to be a huge release showcased because a lot of people love Borderlands, including me. So let's keep our fingers crossed for that. And the final game that I definitely want to see because I'm very curious is the next BioShock. BioShock 3. They had BioShock 1, 2, and Infinite. I loved 1. 2 was okay. I know a lot of people who have their gripes about Part 2 being that it's a good game individually, but not as good as for a BioShock title. I feel like it's a BioShock title that was just, here's a BioShock title. We're going to play off of the success of the first one and, kind of throw together a story with a bunch of stuff. If it was good, not really good. Infinite, really good. Great story, completely different setting than the first two games. So that brings us to the third game. I've had conversations with people that are huge BioShock fans, and we mostly agree. There's two ways that it's going to work. Well, three ways, actually. You either, one, make a sequel to Infinite, which I'm not sure how they would do, because I feel like the Infinite you really couldn't go anywhere at the end of that game. You make a sequel, or you, two, create a completely new world, somewhere else that you'd never think to go. They went under the sea, they went in the air. Maybe they'll go, what, like in a volcano or something next? Who knows? In the desert? Who knows? Limitless. Or three, you take the game to the fall of Rapture. Rapture, in the first game, it was already fallen. You played in a wasteland that was formerly Rapture. It was already, the whole world went to shit already. The whole world just collapsed. I want to see why it collapsed. I want to see what happened, what caused everything to happen. And that is, I think, the most successful way to make a third game would be to show why and how it all happened. And that is my thoughts on those games. Some other teaser games. I'm sure I missed some. There's so many games we could talk about. So many big releases. I definitely left some.
We
out.
can go on for hours about what could happen at E3.
It could happen. We want to happen, but we never know.
But yeah, we're gonna wrap up now. We're gonna be back after the E3 convention happens with a recap show of what did happen, all the biggest surprises, what we predicted that came true or didn't come true, and all that kind of thing. So we'll be back with the second episode following E3, which is June 12th to the 14th in LA. So
yeah, stay tuned.
All
Definitely.
the big news will be from that. We'll do a recap show. This is End of the Day Entertainment, the E3 2018 preview show. I am Chris Day alongside the video game expert, Zach Dunham, and we will be back soon.